bookies. How are you this lovely Sunday morning? We've finally had the heat wave break in Australia, so it's feeling much nicer. Of course, I'm Cintra Sullivan, international best-selling author and one of the triple threat hosts that run this little podcast that we love. Good morning, Kaya Carrington-Russell.
Good morning, my love. It's wonderful to hear your voice as always.
Well, you know, I had to clear it before we got... No, I didn't know. So all right. And, of course, our third...
I was like, and how did you do that?
Yeah. Our third part of our triple threat podcast, of course, is in the house. MB Davis. Good morning, Mark.
Hello. How is everybody today?
Yeah, you know what? Our heat wave's broken, so I'm feeling a wee bit better today. Because, you know, okay, you guys over there who have got the snow, and this is why you make me jealous. Kaya and I live relatively close to each other, so our heat waves are going to be very similar. But Thursday, Friday this week, you know, when you walk out and you might as well just be walking in pea soup. It is that humid and thick and crappy, and you're just like, I want to die. Australia sucks like that in the summertime. Anyway, it's all good. It's over. I'm done. I'm alive. There's my bitch for the whole podcast. Okay. We're done.
You're surviving.
Yeah. Also, congratulations, Kaya, on your new little wheels.
Oh, thank you. And she is...
Oh, I saw that.
She's very big.
Ride.
I'm like, oh, I know it's nice and red. It goes fast. I'm excited.
She's shiny. Does she have a name?
Shiny. I haven't named her yet. I'm really, my first car ever was called Shakira, and the second one was Beyonce, so I feel like I'm going to have to go with theme. Maybe this one could be like Cardi B or something.
Because this is something that I've noticed, and I don't know if it's just me or, of course, first before we start anything, good morning, sir. Good morning, HD in the room. Adrian, good morning. Welcome to everybody in the forum. Yeah, I name everything. Literally, if I have something, I will name it so I can address it. Is this just me, Mark? Do you name things?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't know. It's not a thing for me. I don't name my car or my...
Well, I wasn't actually thinking, children specifically naming because, we have to do that legally. But, I was just... like, do you name your laptop? Do you name your car? What do you know?
I don't. No, I don't do that. I don't know. I know that's a thing, but I just never felt like that close of a connection where I'm like, I need to name this thing.
Interesting. Kaya, do you?
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the between stage of you two because I feel like, Cintra, you name
I do everything.
And whereas mine's just, a car, that's probably it, and my pets. Like even I create eccentric names for like fish and stuff. Like my last one was Sir Patrick SpongeBob.
As you do.
Well,
pets we have to name, but more like inanimate objects. Like, okay, so I'm a factory manager in my day job, and every one of the big machines that I work on has a name. I've named the trolleys. Oh, really? I hope I'm inviting this. Oh, I don't know. Was that?
No, you're just digging yourself a hole.
Yeah, I name everything. No, sorry, somebody just asked to come in and talk, and I'm like, it didn't look like our guest name, so I haven't pressed yes, and I'm really sorry if that is you. Can you try again? If that is you. If it's not you, don't talk. You're not guesting. Yeah, I name everything. And when I first started working there, my boss was just like, you're a really special kind of special, aren't you? I'm like, you don't know half the type of special that I am. Like, and now the thing is, like, I've been there over 5 years and everybody calls them by their names. Like they all know the machines by their names now, which is, it's funny that they've all just.
You've converted.
Exactly. People. Everybody's just adapted to me.
Oh, that's great. That's as it should be. That's right.
It's just how it is. They adapt to me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, welcome to the show, What the Book of People. We are so pleased to have you here. We have a lovely guest coming up today. we're popping her cherry, guys. She's never been on a podcast before. We have a virgin.
Really?
Yes.
This is a sinkhole for her.
I know.
She'll never got a podcast again.
I know. She's a saucy little thing too. And, all right,
We'll be gentle.
she's coming through. They're asking, okay. Now I'm going to sincerely hope that this is our guest. If it's not, then I'm going to have to mute very quickly. So let's cross our fingers, people, and hope that this is our guest, Jae Margal. I hope I said that right too.
Hey, you said it
Oh,
right.
and it is our guest.
Hey.
Oh my God.
I was bracing myself for the worst.
I know, because it doesn't say her name, and I'm just like, I really sincerely hope that I haven't just dug a hole I have to try and climb out of.
Oh my God, I love the way you pronounce my name better than I do.
Jae Margal. Is that correct? I have been.
Jae.
Yeah, I was practicing because I
Jae.
didn't know if it was like how you pronounce the last name, so I sort of just went with how I would and thought, you'll forgive me because you love me. Welcome to What the Book, Jae.
I do. Yes, thank you for having me. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Now,
How's your Saturday going? Well, it's my Saturday. It's your Sunday, right?
it is our Sunday. Well, Kaya and I are on Sunday. We're in the future. We fortune tell. Would you like to know the winning lotto numbers?
Oh.
We can give you that.
If you can help a girl out, I would appreciate that.
We'll try our best. Mark's still on Saturday evening, of course, because he's on your side of the big blue pond.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I saw what Mark is drinking.
Oh, did he put something up?
Yep.
What?
He did.
Get out.
I posted something.
I did.
I feel like I'm out of practice with the beer, so I I screwed up. I opened it before the podcast, so you can't get you just imagine the sound of it opening.
I didn't see anything.
This week, I tagged you guys, so it was right as
I
we were
saw
live, so
it.
I was a little late on it, but yeah, it's Rogue Double Chocolate Stout. So it is a dark beer this week. It's not an IPA.
Oh.
So maybe you can go
I
along
felt
with
like
me this week.
You're teasing us, Mark. You're teasing us. Yeah, you tagged us with your drink. Like, you're teasing us. Yeah, it looks delicious, though. It's chocolate? It's chocolate.
It has, it's a stout, it's a dark beer, but it has a little tiny hint of chocolate in it. And
okay, I guess that's the only thing I paid attention to.
Yeah.
Chocolate. Yeah, you guys notice I'm a foodie. I'm all about the cookies.
Okay, no.
You're in the right
No.
place.
Jay, I actually have a bone to pick with you right now, apart from the fact that I need to know where the accent comes from. But I'm coming back to that. I have a really big bone to pick with you. And if Kaya had seen it, she would totally be on board. I'm not sure if she saw it or not. Otherwise, we probably would have bitched about you quite heavily. Now, I know this is on. She can go back and look on your timeline. Kaya, go back and look. 22 hours. 22 hours ago. All right. There was Jay, you know what you did. There was a video put up.
Candyland? Was it Candyland? Oh, my God,
Did you
yes.
see it? What is that? What is it? Where is it? And how fast can I get
I'm
there?
staring at it now.
What is that?
It's Candyland. It's at the mall. It's at one of the malls that are close to me, and it's called Candyland. And I absolutely love getting candy apples and sweets there. And
The apples? That's all candy apples? Are you serious?
Those are candy apples, and they have fudge. They have fudge bars and all those things that you see on the video. But
holy shit! I just pulled it up.
I was at the mall. You see that, Mark? Okay.
That's like Willy Wonka. What the hell?
Wow.
Where is this place?
Wait. Who's teasing who now, Mark? You know who's teasing who now with the post, right? I think I won this one, but I posted it, and I was with my husband at the mall. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and videotape a little bit and just give him a few little hints, it would be nice a week from now. And, and of course I pointed out a few things because I want to take a bite of all of it.
Take one of everything, right?
I just,
one of everything.
as a girl who's,
don't limit
as
me.
a girl who's currently suffering a little PMS right now, That you wrecked me, Jay. You wrecked me when I watched that. I was like, get out of here. Are you still? I'm licking the screen like.
I'm just watching it on repeat. Like I haven't clicked on it. I think I'm over about 10 times.
We don't have anything. We don't have anything like that here. Nothing like that. I'm just looking at it thinking, holy shit.
No.
Really? You guys don't have anything like candy stores?
Well,
no, we eat nothing but meat and potato here.
No, but
we eat magpie.
You can go in and buy candy, but that's not just like candy. That's like somebody's taken time to do it by hand, and it's just like, it was a candygasm. It's a candygasm, a sugargasm.
Stop!
I should tag you next time,
Sugargasm. I are going to be best friends.
I know.
Because she has a video here of Lush bath bombs.
Oh, God. Did you see that eggplant?
Yeah, did you see that
Wait. What is this?
I got candy. I got Lush.
And Lush is a particular bath
Jay.
bomb.
Holy shit. Oh, whoa. Hey.
Kai is a massive Lush fan.
Go through my timeline.
I see it. I just
We've just become best of friends.
Oh, no.
Listen, don't take this the wrong way, but that's the biggest eggplant I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just as it appears.
I tell you what, though.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
My first thought was, you need two hands. I like things that need two hands. If it needs two hands, I'm seriously interested. I love it. And okay,
watch the video a little slower, and you'll see that it was cracking because it's so heavy. It's a heavy bath bomb.
I'm so intrigued by this, the whole concept, chocolate, eggplant, bath bombs. We really need to talk about your writing, but Jesus, you're a beautiful creature. I just love you.
It's a spa. It's a spa.
What is a spa? What is that? What do you mean?
It's spa treatment.
Oh, yes, to take care of, yes.
I love the candies. I love the nice baths, all of this. Of course, you shower first, you use the bubble bar, but yeah, pretty much, it's just lavish yourself.
Why
hold back? Don't limit me.
I know.
No limits.
I stalk you quite heavily, Jay. You know that. I do stalk you a lot. Cause
I know. I love that.
I adore you. Now, one thing I do love probably the most about Jay, this is for the bookers at home, of course, Kyra Mark. I'm sure Mark stalks you. I'm not sure if Kai does. Well, she does now because you've got eggplant and chocolate.
All the food on the page.
One thing that I love.
Like, send me a giant chocolate eggplant.
Oh, can we arrange that? Because I'm loving the thought of that. I'm loving the thought of it. Now, one thing I love about Jay and Jay's timeline is the positivity she brings to my feed when I see her stuff. She's so vibrantly beautiful on the outside and inside. She promotes body positivity, promotes self-care, promotes taking time out and lavishing yourself with little things that make you feel fucking beautiful. Just taking care of the little things in your life that you can control, so that when other things that you can't control, impact you, you feel a little stronger about yourself. And, there's been many times that I've read her things and felt empowered or stronger for having read them. So thank you for being part of my timeline, Jay, and my life. I adore you.
Thank you, Z. I love that. I love your jokes. I love your enthusiasm. I'm always commenting. You make me laugh every single day when I go through your posts. But I do believe that people should look at themselves and, self-care and creating boundaries for yourself is not being selfish. Self-care is important.
Amen.
And body positivity is important. That I always post that I'm unapologetically curvy.
Yes, I love it.
You have to have that kind of self-love.
I love it.
Thus my treats and cookie maniac madness that I post.
I love the body positivity.
As well as when I start my writing. Yes, I love that.
Now, writing. Tell us,
Writing.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Bring us into the world of Jae Margal's writing.
So writing, I've actually published a children's book, and I have a few stories out there. I don't promote them as you see on my Twitter feed. I do have them in my Instagram, but on Twitter I don't, because I sort of switch genres, right? So now I'm writing, and I've been writing dark fantasy. And it's actually high fantasy, right?
Yes.
So it's a fully imagined world. Everything is just straight from my head. The religion, the characters. It's not, there's some kind of magic realism to it, but it's high fantasy, definitely. It's high concept. And yeah, the dark fantasy is where my passion is at the moment. But I have, published the children's book. I feel like I did such a 360, because from those stories of the children's stories that, I have several of and that I've actually published, I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to focus on this. And this is what I love, staying up at night writing. I love coming up with the world, with the concept. With, obviously, since it is dark fantasy, there's that horror element, right? And the horror element is what I live for. Last year I published 3 poems with Rewritten Realms and in an anthology. And of course they had to be a little bit dark because that's what I love. One of them is called A Sinner's Song. The other one, Black Mirrors, and another one is A Fire's Feast. Because I like that kind of morbid kind of horror, but, there's, filicide in some of my stories and things like that. I've written several short stories. I think we all go through that, right? We all have, I don't know how many whips, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, not me, but the other two do. Yes.
Yeah.
No. I can't.
Yes.
I can only work.
Okay.
I can only work on.
Most of
I
us.
can only work on one at a time.
I'm hoarding it.
Yeah, Mark's a big.
Yeah, I'm hoarding
Oh,
it
I can
all.
only do, I'm with you, Z. I can only do one at a time, but I finish that one and then I go on to the other one, right? But then what happens is, when you first write, it's sort of like a draft zero, right? You're just spitting on the page.
Yes.
Like you just get the words out, just get the story down, right? And once you get the story down, then here comes the several rounds of edits and revisions that you need to do. And I have done that with book 1. So I have my dark fantasy. It's going to be a series, right? So book 1, the series is called Bloody Trail.
Oh.
Which I love because it all goes with my dark fantasy, right? It's all tied into all of that, right? So, if you guys see on my timeline, part of actually my pinned tweet is a snippet from one of the, part of the book, right? And you see that who's my banner on Twitter is Elizabeth Bathory, actually. I love that.
Yes.
So I have sort of like a mix of Elizabeth Bathory along with all these other kind of high concept elements that I created in the world. But, yeah, so the series is going to have several books. Book 1 is done. Book 1 is called Hush Blood. Book 2, the one I'm working on now, is actually, called, The Blood of Ashes. And this is all in the same, cause it's in the series, right? So it's the same universe, same all of that. It's the series. But I actually came up with an elevator pitch. You guys want to hear it?
We love an elevator pitch. Yes.
Which is something.
They're hard to do too.
Yes,
They're hard to do.
So, you know what? An elevator pitch, Z, is almost just as much of a nightmare as writing a synopsis.
I hate synopsis. Hate them, loathe them. Kaya and I hate them.
I can't stand a synopsis, right? Like, I think it's incredible that some people can do it. They have this kind of, gift that they can write it so quickly. And me, it's like, God, I have so many elements. How do I start? And I think that's one of the things that a lot of us writers, when they say, what are you writing and what's your book about? We just sort of,
words. It's got words.
We just sort of,
and there's paper and
words are hard.
Yes, right.
I drift off and I'm like, you know what? Words are hard. Words are not coming to me at this time. What are words? When they ask you what your book is about, So a synopsis, I think, helps but a synopsis gives away everything, right? So that's not the same as a back cover copy.
Absolutely.
So you don't want to give everything away.
I find a blurb easy, easy to write. I don't mind a blurb because all I'm doing is asking questions and taunting and enticing a reader, whacking the bait out there. That's fine. And Kaya and I throw blurbs back at each other quite often and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? But synopsis, that's 300 words of an entire novel. Yeah. Every secret that you have in 300 words. And I'm like, I can't do that. I hate that. That's just shit.
Right. Right. And with all the elements and all the different characters.
Well, you can't. You feel like you miss out on so much of it, though.
You're like, what?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, so what am I going to, I can do synopsis just on the second act of the book, right?
Yeah.
Like not to say the whole book.
So give me the elevator pitch.
So that's where I really hate it.
Give me the elevator pitch.
So this elevator pitch, okay, so it's rough, but it's there, right? Okay, so I have
like it.
You ready? You ready? Okay. So, an epic dark fantasy set in a dystopic kingdom where 12-year-old Lanai struggles to assist a ruler hell-bent on creating the strongest army through child sacrifice, leading one demon survivor to be seen as a sign from the gods.
Oh.
So that's it.
Oh.
That's a short one.
I would buy it.
Straight to the point. Right. Like, I had to have the sacrifice in there, obviously because of the horror element.
Yeah.
And we have that with all these different kind of creatures and all that. But that's the basics of the basics. That's the premise pretty much of book one.
Absolutely. I love it.
There's so much.
I love it. We've got a question here. Apart from Sir Whips, she does not mean whips as in, although, I've seen a couple of her posts and there could be a little crossover. Work in progress, whips. Sir, behave yourself. PJEM, I'm just going to call you Jem. Hey, darling. Where do you get your motivation for your characters from?
My head. No, I'm kidding. It's the motivation, I think, because the complexity of the world. So when the first thing I love to start with, because I'm actually I'm a planter. Right?
You can't fence sit.
I'm not a plotter. I'm not a pantser. I can't.
Jay, can't fence.
Oh, please, Jay, please come over to the dark side, Jay. Yes.
I am, what I do is I create the world and then I start saying what would make this more interesting over here. And I love the world building aspect. So the characters just.
You're lucky I love you.
Start developing from. I love you. The morbid, world building.
This sounds right up your alley, Kaya. All of the dark, high fantasy.
Oh,
yeah,
I've seen my new best friend. I'm like, hey, sister, we're in the same pond.
You've got lush, you've got chocolate, you've got candy apples, and dark fantasy.
We're the same person.
Yeah.
We're the same person.
Goodness me.
Got it all, yeah.
I've got a crush.
Good night's sleep.
A little lady crush. I always
my little lady crush.
Had a J crush for ages. How many edits do you go through? Mia's asking. How many edits do you normally go through on a book, Jay?
Oh my gosh. Well, book one probably has 7.
Really? Wow.
And right now, yes, because the thing is that with this dark fantasy, I'm trying to take the traditional route, right? With the dark fantasy. I've done indie with the children's book, and I decided, with this one, because of the concept and everything, I decided, I'm going to dip my feet into trying to do traditional publishing with this one. And with that means I've had, I have to have rewritten, my God, the first chapter so many times. And then obviously that's a domino effect, right? Because then everything else afterward needs touch up. So I'd say now this year, because I'm going to re-query it again this year. I know the best time to query is usually from now until April, May. You can query anytime, but yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. So I've had to rewrite the first 3 chapters again. It's sort of like make it more I want to grab everyone by the throat.
Yeah.
With the first few lines and then take it from there.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So that, so I've done it a few times.
Well, when you're querying, they ask you for your first 3 chapters. So if you can't, grab them, I would have said grab them by the balls, but if you want to go by the throat, that's fine. You're shorter than me, so I would have thought balls would have been an easier aspect. But sure, okay. You still...
I can knock them in the knees, Z.
But everyone has
I can
a
do
throat.
the knees.
Everyone has a throat.
Yeah. Exactly, right?
You don't want to leave anyone out.
Well, but look, in the traditional publishing industry, there's a lot of balls in there as well. It doesn't seem to matter. It's just everywhere.
And they're all in the air. They're all at the same time.
They're all in the air. Exactly.
They're all in the air. You have to learn to juggle, we have to try to juggle.
Now, Jay,
but I say along with the whip.
You've got a family, of course. You've got a lovely husband, and you've got adult-ish children, which you show.
I do.
So
2 adult children and 1 minor.
Yeah, how do you juggle?
2 adult
How do you juggle? Family life, writing. So a question that we ask a lot of our guests, because we have a lot of listeners who are trying to juggle families and work and writing as well. How do you do it?
I don't sleep.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us suffer from insomnia, right? I do most of my work and most of my writing at night when everyone is asleep, when I'm alone with my thoughts and everything is sort of checked off my list for the day. Because if I do it during the day, I'm going to constantly think, but I still need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And that interrupts my writing process. So in the night, when everything is done, then it's just me and my thoughts and my book. And that's actually when I love to read even in the afternoon. So what gets my juices going even to write is I always read first.
Yes.
Reading really, right, doesn't it, Mark? Reading actually, it does. It refills that creative well for me when I read. I need to read. And as soon as I read, even if I read just a few chapters of something, even though it's hard because you always want to continue on, right?
Right.
But when you just read a few chapters or what have you, of what book at the time that you're reading, I just already start that was brilliant. That was this. You know what? I'm going to incorporate, something to that effect with this, or I can tweak something to just have that same panache in my book or what have you. So it really does refill my creative well. It definitely, that's what it does. So almost, I would say 9 times out of 10 when I'm writing, I have already read a few things, a few chapters, maybe a full book that day. That's what I do. It really helps.
Do you, are you more of some people are binge writers where they just sit down and just vomit everything? Or are you one of those people that you're writing every day and consistently, maybe you have a word count or a time goal, or how do you approach that with your writing?
No, I binge write. So I block off time of the day. Let's say I like to do it in the night, right? But let's just say that I start a little bit earlier for one day. I start maybe let's say I start at about 4 or 3 because I have some activities in the night that I can't do. But that's the only time I can chunk off for that week. Then, I just literally block off several hours, 4 or 5 hours straight. Nobody bothers me. Leave me alone.
Oh, wow.
I have to get this done. And since I have 2 adult children and my youngest is 11, he's going to be 12. They do that. They respect that time. So I can definitely do that. It's not like when I was first writing the first book and the children's book, they were smaller, right? So they're constant interruptions that way. But now I can actually do it before that. But I vomit on the page. I get everything out. What I do try to hold back on doing when I write is self-editing.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you guys know that. You self-edit.
Right.
While you're writing, it's no, I need the name of this maid that walked in, because I can't just put maid in brackets like everyone else when you're trying to fast draft. God forbid trying to fast draft. Right.
No.
Right. I can't do it. And I would love to be able to fast draft, but I'm not a fast drafter. I'm one of those people that I need to know the name now. I need to know what I'm calling her now. And that's not obviously when you're on a time crunch or you have a deadline, that's probably not the best method. And it is better to just fast draft, but if I just can't do it.
I can't see.
I haven't been able to do it. I think that's a skill.
I do fast draft. But I don't bracket anything. They come with names already. So, I say, the maid walks in and her name is so-and-so, and I go, okay, cool, let's go. I don't question it. I go, if that's your name, then that's your name, sweetheart. Let's go. But I don't self-edit because everything comes to me already, they're already pre-created characters. I don't actually create any of them. It's quite bizarre, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't question it. I just exist within the world. And, I don't self-edit. I admire those people who can. I do. But I cannot self-edit, and I certainly won't self-edit as I go. I can't edit as I go. I do, however, like if I sit down and it's time, as you said, you block out your time to write. I do the same thing. I wait till everybody's gone to bed, and every motherly and job aspect that I have to do during the day is ticked off. Then I can go, you know what, fuck it all. I'm done. I'm now about me and my writing. So, the door gets shut and that's it. But, when you sit down and I will read back, like I will start at where I was. I'll read back a couple of paragraphs, maybe the chapter, just to put myself back in the world that I'm supposed to be existing in. And then I just go. I can't, but I won't edit those few chapters that I read or those few paragraphs that I read. That's my editor's problem. I pay her good money for that. That's Lisa.
Definitely.
Kaya. I just called you Kia.
We love it. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, darling.
Oh, no. Not Kia.
I know.
Did you hear that, Mark?
You shall whip me later. I'm sorry.
I thought we were past it. Listen, this happened months ago, and I thought we had moved on.
So did I. Apparently
not. It comes up every so. Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Here we are.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Kaya,
it's okay, Kaya. Just look at my video. Just look at my Candyland video.
Candyland.
Yeah.
Kaya,
you'll be just fine right now. Don't worry. You'll forget about
my
this.
sweet little, my sweet little dumpling of desire, Kaya. Stop it! You're making me feel horrible. Do you self-edit as you go? Do you correct yourself as you go, or because we have the same editor for those playing at home, Kaya and I, our beautiful Lisa. Do you let her do all the hard work, or no, you don't. You do it, don't you? Tell me you do.
Well, I'm a professional, so I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, fine.
Now.
I'm sorry, I had to get back in.
Whatever.
Oh, Z. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Well, I know who's not going to win Book a Feud later, but whatever.
Oh, God.
Okay. Do you self-edit, Kaya?
Okay. I do love you. No, not my first draft. My first draft is just organic. I let myself write, but then I will always go over the draft. I'll go over it a second time, and that's when I thoroughly edit, when I think words can be changed or that sentence doesn't make sense or whatever. But I only go over it, I write it, and then I go over it once, and then that's when I send it.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. But the first draft is just written right through. I just write beginning to end, and then I'll reread before I send it to Lisa. But I don't edit as I go.
And then what I do is my first one is draft 0, right? Like it's just you're vomiting on the page. And then draft 1 is more or less the one where I'm going over everything. But even then, my draft 0 is, I'm still sort of self-editing. It's not a complete edit, but, it's sort of like, well, that was grammatically, it was terrible. So don't write that. Like I do that. But what I do to help myself is after I finish a chapter, I let it go and I just continue reading and I just continue writing. Because if I keep going back and back and back, I'll never go
Exactly.
forward. So I got to get it down.
It's one of my things that I say to new authors is just keep on going, because you can't edit what you don't have. You can edit till the cows come home after you have the book. You can edit as much as you want, but unless you have it, you can't edit it. Question here,
right.
Mark, I'm going to direct it at you.
Can't edit a blank page.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm going to start this off with Mark first, and then I want to hear everybody else's. This is a question from one of our viewers for Jem. How many hours do you think a writer should dedicate to writing a week? This is a loaded question. What do you think, Mark?
Right. I mean, I think it depends on your process. I'll talk generally, and then I'll talk specifically about me, because recently I've gotten back into writing daily, which I think is works better for me. But I think if you're the type of person that vomit edits or vomit drafts, then that's not sustainable, right? You're going to have to do that for a period where maybe you're writing every day, but then you get to a point you run into editing or whatever where maybe you have to scale that back in terms of the time. I don't know. But for me, what works is, and I notice when I'm really being productive, I'm sitting down, I'm writing every day, I'm blocking out time. So I've been a lot more intentional lately to kind of do that, and it's working. And I've tried, and I would recommend this for people to try and do this, because I've experimented with this. Play around with the time of day. If you have different times, like, it's painful, but if you're like, I'm not a morning person, but try and get up early in the morning anyway, and just see how that works for a little bit. Try it for a week or a couple weeks, and then try it at night. Like, see what works better for you. Don't be afraid to like play around with it, because you might find that although I don't like doing it this way, if you're lying to yourself and thinking you're going to get more done this other way, then you really should probably do what works.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes sense. I agree. I think that everybody needs to sort of try to find different methods and see which one works for you.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Kaya, what do you think? How many hours a week? It's such a loaded question. It's such a...
It really is. I mean, because you would have had the same thing. I mean,
there's no real answer
to doing this for what?
8 years.
So now I would say yours has changed as much as mine. Like, when I started, I was putting 40 hours plus a week in. Like, I was so obsessed with writing. And now over time, obviously, situations change, personal lives change, your routine changes. And I used to wake up first thing in the morning, and I would write back in my unhealthy days of writing, because I was so obsessed with it. I'd wake up at 3:30 a.m. and write just ridiculous, crazy times. But now what I'm doing, and again, I'm looking at changing my routine, is that I do mine in batch lots. So basically I sit down over a period of a couple of weeks, and I will just do nothing but write that book. But at the same time, I haven't written in the last 2 months. So right now for me, that's not healthy. That's not balanced, because I'm itching to write, but there's so much else that's happening. So I need to find the time space that's more consistent. So it just constantly changes. I feel like you'll have something that works for you for a year or two, and you might be able to spend heaps of hours on, and then you get thrown a curveball and you have to do something else. So,
you know what I've found that works? Like, okay, we've been in this industry, Kaya and I, for 8 years now doing this shit, and you're right, full-time jobs, kids, whatever, things change, it continuously fluctuates. But I found a deal that I made that works, and I think it could be applied across the board to everybody. And I mean, find your time, whether you're, as Mark said, whether you're a 5 a.m. writer or a 9 p.m. writer or a noon, whatever your choice is. But make a deal. Make a deal with yourself as a commitment to your craft that you will put down one word every day. And it can literally be, I don't feel like writing today. And I have sat there and gone, I cannot write today. I have complete and utter fog, and I've written down fuck on my board, on the work in progress. Of course, I'm going to take the book, the word out, because it's probably not relevant to wherever I was, but it was still one word. It was a commitment that I made to myself that I will write down one word every day, no matter what. Now, it's surprising you know, I could go and work an 10-hour day and feel totally screwed, come home, you know, dinner, kids, shower, whatever else, sit down and think, I don't want to write. But I've made the commitment, one word, that's all I need. And I write one word and it turns into 200 words or it turns into 1,000 words. Sometimes it stops at 5 words. But every day there's a step forward, every single day. And I think that's it's working really well for me. I'm not sure if it, you know, I think it would work well for everybody, but, you know, I'm not going to preach because I'm not that kind of person. But one word every day.
I think that's good. That is
really
good.
And it's
is
doable.
Good advice because I can write fuck every single day if I need to, and I would still feel good about it. Yeah, in capital letters too. I highlight it, underline it.
Even if it's just I went, and you start a process, because then, and I've done it where I've just gone I went on the work in progress and then shut it down. I saved it and shut it down because then my brain keeps on going. I go, I went where? Where did she go? You know, like what am I thinking? So then the next day you add a little bit more to that sentence, a little bit more. Sometimes it helps. We had a question about writer's block. This is a way you can help prevent writer's block by asking, just putting down a question, putting down a word, starting a progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys, I'm sorry, Mark, have any of you guys tried doing writing sprints?
Oh, yes.
The sprints?
Yeah. Yes.
I can't do it. They do not work for me, but I heard it actually works for several people. Yeah.
If I'm in that,
I've tried it, but it doesn't work.
No,
for me.
it's for myself personally.
I can't do a writer sprint.
If I'm in the last, say, 2 weeks before it's due at the editor, and Kaya knows this because I'm texting her going, help, I can't breathe, and you do 20-minute sprints, and it's amazing that you know, and you get two, 3 20-minute sprints in a go, and you take a 10-minute or 15-minute break in between. You can chuck down a few thousand words a day easily. But that's that real pressure. Oh, wow. That's that. Oh, fuck, I've got to get this book to the editor by this date, and holy crap, I haven't even got halfway. I've got to do it. The pressure, it helps me sometimes.
Wait a minute. I have another question for the three of you. Do any of you actually listen to music while you write? Do you have a specific soundtrack or anything like that when you guys actually write? I know several people do. I don't. I lose focus, so I need it completely quiet. It needs to be me and my brain, but that also helps a lot of people write.
Kaya?
So I do, I can't have words in any song. Words are too distracting, but I do have music. Right. So I'll either have like classical jazz, like, you know, what you might hear in a coffee shop or something like that. Or if I'm writing dark fantasy, I'll just go onto YouTube and write, you know, villain track playset or something, and it gives like an ambience of music, whether it's like medieval or whatever, but it's just like a dark ambience to it, and that's usually what I'm writing. I do want to say though, with your question before about writing sprints, I would actually, because I love them, I would say get an accountability partner that you're actually like a writing friend that you're close with.
Oh, yeah, right.
It makes it kind of fun. So you're both on at the same time. You say ready, set, go, and then you do 20 minutes.
We'll join in,
and then you come back and say,
we'll do
exactly.
We'll do a group chat in the Twitter, do a sprint in there, and say ready, set, go, let's go, and it's fun. It is. It's a lot of fun.
Right.
You come back and
I've seen a lot of those. And I know that I've actually tried them, and I'm just losing focus because I'm looking at how many I feel like the countdown, like the clock is ticking, like that ticking clock is looming over me. Like you only have 20 minutes, or what are you going to do in 20 minutes? And that is where my mind goes, is to the looming clock. So I've tried it, and I think it's amazing. I was like, you know what? Because I'm one of those people that I haven't tried it. I want to try it. Maybe it does work. I don't want to dismiss it, because it may work for me. So I've tried writing all sorts of hours. I've tried different ways. I've tried accountability partners. I've tried sprints.
This is the beauty of
writing.
And
it's just always what works for you,
yeah,
right?
it's finding out. And this is where, you know, we get a lot of advice when you're scrolling through the social media platforms. There's a lot of authors with a lot of different advice. And they're all valid. All the advice is valid because we generally, 9 times out of 10, you know, what gets said out there is coming from a place of wanting to help others. And I get that. But from an author's point of view, try it. If it works for you, keep it. If it doesn't work for you, it's okay. It doesn't work for everybody. You know, give it a bit of a swing. See what happens. Mark, what about the music? Are you a music man?
So with music, I've tried all the above. I've written to nothing, absolute silence. I've written to music with words. So I just have to have it low so it's not distracting from me hearing like the words are going on. I've done what's working for me lately is more like what is it Kia or Kaya?
Oh my God, Mark! I think I love you.
Oh my God, burn,
Savvy show,
burn.
This is going to be a great book of feud coming up in a minute.
Oh my God.
But what Kaya does is the kind of dark instrumental stuff that I can play, and I got these great like headphones that are like noise canceling, so I can literally drown out everything with that, and that helps a lot because I can literally be sitting there typing and people like having a full-on conversation in front of me, and I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't even care. I'm in the zone, so it's nice.
I love that.
The one thing I want to add. The one thing I want to add with the sprints thing is I've done successfully with and without, and I think what helps me think about it in terms of sprints. I took an English composition 101 like class in college, and we had to do creative writing as part of that. And one of the exercises, and I did terrible in it, you guys. I did so bad. But one of the things that was the first inkling that, hey, maybe I actually can write, was we did this exercise where the teacher was like, okay, here's the exercise. You have to sit down. We're going to write for a certain period of time, and you have to write, and you can't stop. You have to write. Even if you repeat the same word over and over again, continue writing. No matter what you do, don't stop writing. Right. And a lot of people did that. Right. They just repeated the words. And there was something about it that was so freeing for me where I sat down and I wrote this whole story. And I got like an A on the paper, and it was just like, I don't even know how that happened, but it just, thinking back on it, I think it was this concept that like, you can get in your own way. You want to write something great, but if you sit down thinking like, I'm going to write this great thing, and then you like struggle, and it can lead to, at least for me, like writer's block and all this stuff. But if you don't have time to think about that, you're just like, shit, I just got to write. I just got to put words down, like whatever. Is there something that like you just channel and you just go to this place where things just kind of start flowing and just kind of start happening? So for me, it's like, I don't need writing sprints necessarily. I've kind of developed, I've written enough now to where I can use that as a tool. But I can sit down and I can write without that and just allow myself to get into a flow or the zone, right? So I don't know if that's how everyone's experienced that, but that's kind of what's worked for me.
Again, it's finding what's right for you, what works for you, your own specific recipe for success, so to speak. I love music. I love it loud. I love it in my ears. I have headphones. I want it as loud as I possibly can. Generally, it's relative to whatever the characters that I'm writing. At the moment, I'm writing a series on book 5 in my Dragon book series. They're country boys, even though they're water dragons. Don't question their music taste. They like modern music. They like modern country. So even at work, in my office, the country goes full blast, and the boss is like, you don't even like country. And I went, my characters do, so shh. Enough about that. I become submerged in it, and when that music is playing, they start talking. So, you know, like I'll be driving along and there'll be whatever music playing and it won't happen, but then something comes on that character likes, and off they start chatting. So my characters are very much linked to music, and the louder I have it, the more it becomes white noise and the characters' voices come through stronger. It's a bizarre scenario, but it really works well for me. So I'm probably...
Gosh, that makes so much sense, though.
I'm probably deafening myself.
Characters
but, it's okay.
No, but it makes sense because the characters have a mind of their own. And they just go into it, and we're just sort of trying to keep up with them. Like, where are you taking me now? What's happening here? And I love that. And if music does that, I can actually see how it could do that.
That's how it works for me.
It's just, right. With me, I just sort of like, listen. I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? And then you guys are naughty. Boom. I'm going to have to kill one of you guys off.
We like those days. We like those days. All right. So, God, I could talk to you forever, Jay. We could really have a very long podcast with this guest, couldn't we, guys? We do play a game at the end. Are you ready, Jay, to challenge yourself to our games? You need to pick a team. For those who play at home, of course, bookers, you should know what we play. We play Booker Feud. The music capabilities, the high cost show that we produce is amazing. It's like Family Feud, of course, but for legal rights, we call it Booker Feud. Jay, you need to pick a team. Are you going to be on Team Mark or Team Kai? I won't tell you who's got the better win-loss ratio.
Which team? I've actually, you won't even give me a hint of who has the better win-loss ratio?
I mean, we're curious.
You can tell she's all about it.
Team Kaya or Team Mark? I don't know. It's such a choice, isn't it?
It's tough, but I want Kaya, but I'm thinking that Mark probably has a better win-loss ratio. So.
Oh, wow.
Only because, no, I want you, Kaya, but I'm thinking you know what, if I go blank, maybe Mark will sweep it. Some kind of answer, some kind of answer.
Are you going Team Mark, Jay? Is that what your choice is?
Listen. Jay, whether or not you pick me or
now
not,
we're going to lose on purpose.
Whether or not you pick me or not, I have already won.
You're just glorious, isn't it?
You smooth talker.
Jay, is your choice Team Mark, honey?
All right, pull for it. I'm going to say, okay, let's just go with Mark.
All right, Team Mark it is.
I thought we were going to be friends, Jay.
Go for it.
Come on.
All right,
we got
Mark and Jay.
We can both look at our candy land.
Well, Kaya, of course, you'll always have the people that are in the forum that are in there. Mia, Sir, of course, if any of you want to come up with answers and help Kaya out in the forum, by all means, she would appreciate the support.
Please do. I feel a little bit lost today, guys.
Mark and Jay, of course, when we answer, these are legitimate Family Feud questions. There's 100 Americans that have been surveyed. I need the top 5 answers that go along with it. Mark and Jay, what is your team name?
Okay.
Do you have any ideas?
All right, the name.
Candyland? Should we be Candyland?
Okay, let's do Candyland. I love that because that's all about me.
There you go. Team Candyland. Kaya, what team name would you like?
So my team, Mia, Sir, and myself, are going to go...
I like the bloody apples that Maya just...
Bloody apples sounds pretty good. Oh, is it Maya? Is it Mia or is it Maya? Am I saying
Mia or Maya? Oh, I went Maya, but then I've gone Kaya, so I just rhymed you.
I know.
Mia wants to know how to pronounce your name.
I bet you Mia/Maya gets this all the time as well.
Oh.
Mia, can you say whether it's M-E-E-A-H or M-Y-A-H?
She's gone, yup, but we're both doing both ways.
Yeah,
my darling. Is it with a Y or an E? Which am I doing? Because, now you're part of the team. While we're sorting that out, I have Team Candyland and Team Bloody Apples.
Bloody Apples.
All right.
It kind of sounds Aussie too.
Bloody apples.
I love that bloody apple.
Bloody apples.
Okay, we're all about something. Okay.
Excellent. All right.
I like that.
So the question is, first person in with their team name gets to go first, and then we will alternate between teams until we find a winner for today's question. Now, of course, this is it's not a bizarre question. It's a simple question, but I normally tell you to think simple answers. Some of these answers are a little left of center, but these are 100 Americans, so I'm not really, it's like, woo, okay, people. Yes.
See, I'm hurt.
I'm Australian, so I get a little like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And
no, you're right. I do that too. I don't understand it.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. All right. The question is, come in with your team name to go first. Name something. Name something you might put in your bed before you go to sleep to keep yourself warm.
Bloody apples.
Oh, bloody apples came in first. Off we go, Kaya. What is your first answer?
Like another blanket.
A blanket. Is that your answer? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on the list. It's on the list.
Oh my gosh, you made me sweat on that one.
I know. It is.
It's not.
It is. Blanket and electric blanket are the same thing. Yes, according to this chart. And it is number one. Well done, number one. Ring-a-ding-ding. All right.
Do you have regret, Jay? Is that regret or no?
Wow. Actually, I was going to say electric blanket.
No, that's done.
I'll sort of take that as a win. Yeah, it's over, but I'll sort of take that as like, yeah, I would have answered that too. Okay.
I love it.
Snack talk from Jay over here.
Look at it. Oh my God.
I would have said that too.
You know what?
Team Candyland.
I'm
just saying that we were thinking the same thing.
For your first time on a podcast, Jay, you're doing really well. It's like you're just made for this,
you
aren't
popped
you?
my cherry really well.
Look at you go.
My bloody apple, candy apple.
All right, Team Candyland. Name something that you might put in your bed before you go to sleep to keep yourself warm. You may confer before you give through an answer.
Okay. Now, is it something we could wear?
I just read it the way it says, and I can't. That's what I said. Is that the American concept of the wording is a little
ambiguous.
Well, not my problem. It's 100 Americans. 100 Americans. If it was Australian, it would be a little clearer. But whatever.
So.
Ouch, but it's so true. It's funny because it's true. Okay.
All right, confirm. What do you want?
So, Mark, what is it? I want to say fluffy socks or something, but I don't sleep with anything.
Confession. We have a confession here.
Stop it, Jay.
You've seen I posted it before.
I love it.
Okay. In the spirit of what you just revealed, I think we should think about like a spouse or another person, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
name something you might put in your bed.
What about a teddy bear? What about
in my bed?
In your bed. Who's in our bed to keep warm? Yes. Your person, your partner, your spouse, your people, right?
Partner, yeah.
Is that your final answer? Right?
That's about I say yes. Let's do it, Mark.
All right, let's do it. Final answer.
It's on the board. It's number 2. Well done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number
2. Partner is on the board. Oh, it's 1-1. Oh, the fight is progressing beautifully. I love it.
A virtual 5, Mark.
So much pressure on this game.
Team Bloody Apples.
Virtual 5, Mark. We got it.
Name something you might put in your bed before. This is great. Before you go to sleep to keep warm at night. This has got to be one of my favorite episodes I think I've had to date. Kaya, what is your answer?
Really, because on this episode, I feel like this is the one I've been most bullied on.
Maybe that's why I like it. I don't know.
I got no complaints. I'm enjoying this.
Kaya, what's your answer?
All right, because I can't relate to having another body in my bed, except for my puppy. And Sir has been very consistent with saying pet. So I am going to listen to my teammate, Sir, and I'm going to say pet.
Pet is on the board. Well done. Yes.
Oh, that's a good
Dog
one.
or
Yep.
cat,
Wow.
both on the board on the same thing.
Yep.
So, I just bought myself a pet cat, a 1 meter pussy, that I named Clancy. He should be arriving soon. He's my new bed partner. I like him a lot. Well, I expect to like him a lot when he arrives. So Clancy, if you ever are now talking to me and I refer to Clancy in my bed, he's my 1 meter body pillow pussy. You're welcome for knowing that. Name something you might put in your bed before you go to sleep to keep warm. And it's not Clancy, he's mine. What is it, Team Candyland?
We can't have Clancy.
You can't have Clancy. So far, we have partner, we have pet, and we have blanket.
Are you sure? Okay.
There are two more answers to go.
I didn't mind when you said socks. I thought that was pretty decent. I think I could see that because people get cold feet like that a lot.
Well,
I feel like socks.
Yeah, like that's if I get cold, that's about what I'm putting on. Like
right.
That's it.
I wear socks 24/7. Like I do not take them off.
It counts.
I know. It's just the problem is I have such a visual mind, so you're really throwing me off here.
Where's the sock going?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is it just one sock? Or is it two socks?
They're fluffy. They're fluffy ankles.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
You have 2
Mark,
feet.
you innocent baby.
Oh no! Why
No, they need to sell them. They need to sell them in a 3-pack for winter. There you go. There's a whole marketing thing for Bonds. Get on board, Bonds. A 3-pack for winter for the man who feels the cold. All right. Name something that you might put in your bed before you go to sleep. Team Candyland, what is your answer?
Let's go with socks. I say socks.
What
do you think?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's
fluffy
do it.
socks.
Is on the board.
Yeah,
well
socks.
done.
You get cold.
Yes.
See, cold feet.
Yes, that's what the young people call
feet
it.
is a big thing.
That's what the young'uns call it, cold feet. Isn't that what your partners fall for, cold feet? So you just launch them up onto their back or something, just so you just warm anyway. Okay, different thing.
How flexible do you think we are in here?
I don't know. I just ordered a 1 meter cat. I'm just not going there. All right, we're in a tiebreaker situation. A tiebreaker situation, people. It's Team Candyland versus Team Bloody Apples. All right, we have one answer left. The first person in with their team name will get to go for the tiebreaker. Name something. Now, obviously, I thought this would have been the first thing people thought of, but whatever. Name something. First person in with their team name, remember. Name something you might put in your bed before you go to sleep to keep warm at night.
Candyland.
Oh, Candyland went in first. Oh, you missed it, Kaya, by a blink.
Candyland.
So, I feel like the most obvious answer is pajamas.
Yeah.
I
agree.
feel like that's on there.
I agree. Look, if socks was on there, Mark, if socks was on there, come on, pajamas.
Right. Should be. Absolutely.
Is that your final answer?
Absolutely.
Fuck.
Yes.
I think so,
right, Mark?
Going with pajamas. Yep.
Let's do it.
Answer.
Pajamas for the win.
Not on the list. Not on the list. Who said warm handcuffs?
You know what?
Mia, Maya, more. Oh my
darling.
God. I need to know you more.
So
Hello, handcuffs,
friends, right?
my darling. Goodness me. It's got me all hot and
what? Pajamas is not on there?
got me all hot and bothered
what
now.
Kind of
no,
100
sorry.
Americans does this?
There's 100 naked sleeping Americans, all right? They're sleeping with socks on but no jammies.
Apparently.
It just seems bizarre. All right, so Team Bloody Apples.
That sounds like Woodstock.
You have the chance, Kaya, the chance to sweep in with the win right at the last minute to do the Bradbury of Winter Olympic manoeuvres. I'm probably the only Australians who understand that reference, but that's okay. I'm Aussie. It's what we do.
Idea.
He was speed skating. He was a speed skater in the Winter Olympics, and everybody crashed, and he won by default, which just seems so Aussie by my standards.
Yeah, that works out.
Kaya, what is your answer? Name something. One chance, honey. One chance. Name something.
I'm feeling stressed.
I know. Name something you might put in your bed before you go to sleep to keep warm at night. This is such an obvious one. So obvious.
I don't like the obvious.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay. I feel like I'm holding hands with Sarah and Mia right now. Like, come on, guys. You did throw me off. Now I don't know. Now I'm just seeing you in bed with your socks. And it's just throwing me off.
I do that often.
See, wait. Perfect. Perfect. I threw her off. Just pass it over back to Candyland. Pass it back to Candyland.
Oh, no.
I feel like
I threw Kaya off.
You did throw me off. Yeah.
There's some sass talk going on. I'm loving it.
Don't worry.
I know.
Jay, don't worry.
Do you write erotica?
Do you
write erotica?
I do.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. No wonder. Okay, I'm hearing the imagination. I'm like, erotica? Okay.
There's a little visualization happening here.
What is your answer?
she's bringing one of her books.
Team Bloody Apples.
She's bringing one of her books with her.
Bloody Apples. Name something. For the win, name something you put in your bed before you go to sleep. Just sleep. To keep warm. God, I've thrown myself off with pictures of naked Jay in socks in my head. Kaya. I know.
You see? Perfect. It's contagious.
Jay.
It's contagious. Go ahead, Kaya. If you can concentrate, answer.
She's like those people
I'm
with
throwing
the
her off. Keep
yeah,
thinking
banging
about
those things
my
behind the
fluffy
basketball
socks.
coat.
I
Like,
definitely
oh my
have a
God.
girl crush
I
here.
know.
Jay's so awesome.
I'm gonna go.
Kaya,
I'm gonna go with heater.
Kaya, keep thinking about. She said it. She said what was in the chat.
I found the
Weren't
truth.
you thinking about my
You
fluffy
said
socks?
heater? Is that your final answer? Heater?
Yes.
Ba-bow.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh,
List.
on us.
Not on the list. Team
Okay, wait a
Team
second.
Candyland, you have one
Can I ask you a
chance.
question?
Yeah.
I need to ask you a question. What do you mean by heater? I'm like
The
I'm a little
heater's
confused
not
by
on
that.
the, I mean, okay, in this particular
I know,
answer,
but
Aircon.
It shouldn't be.
in this particular,
Like aircon, but
It shouldn't be because that's like an electric
in this particular,
blanket. That's like an electric blanket. It shouldn't
in
be.
this particular survey, there's like 10 answers, and heater is about number 9, but I'm only referring to the top 5 on it. So there is one answer hitting, and it is the 5th answer on the chart. Candyland, you have a chance to swoop in now and win against the mighty
Mark, what could
Kaya.
it be? Okay, Mark, what about a stuffed animal or something, or like a plush or something?
Don't go there.
Or what are you thinking, Mark?
I don't think they give off any stuff.
Okay, I thought we were supposed to keep it simple. I thought we were supposed to keep it simple.
I don't know what house you grew up in, but
I'm just going to say I'm awfully quiet.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
But it's not a stuffy, Mark. It's not a stuffy. It's not a fluffy.
No. I feel like that's why I asked for clarification, because what popped in my head was like heating pad, like when you have a backache, or when you have whether you heat it up in the microwave.
All right, Mark. I'm going to give you a clue. Kaya, don't listen.
Yes.
Mark.
What?
Okay.
Think
Yes.
Clue.
Old school.
Me? I have the answer. Me.
Wait a minute. Wait, like a hat or a cap or something.
No.
Or what?
The hot water bottle.
Is that your answer?
Oh, that is so antiquated. Is that on there?
That's old school right
Is
there.
that your answer?
That is super
Team
ancient.
Candyland. Is that your answer?
I think we should go with it.
Go do it.
The hot water bottle.
Yes, it's on the list. Woo!
Yes! Yay, old people!
Yay!
Enjoy your victory.
Yay! Okay.
Congratulations,
There it
Team
is.
Take that, young
Candyland.
people, in your face.
Yes.
All right.
That's when you were saying
we did
heating pad with a microwave. I'm like, no, not millennial version. Go old school.
Listen, you know
old
what?
school.
See, I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. I thought of that first, and I'm like, no, that's too old.
See,
We got to go with the new version
I
of
looked
that. We're
at
going with
it.
heating
No,
pad.
I looked at it and thought
Like-
that's going to be the first one they say is a hot water bottle because I'm ancient, so it's what happened.
Oh.
But obviously
Right.
not.
I know. Oh,
well done.
God.
Congratulations, Team
Amazing.
Candyland. Commiserations, Bloody Apple.
Yay.
Well done.
All right. Good job.
Yay.
A tightly fought battle.
We did awesome. We did. Yes, it was neck and neck. It was neck and neck. It was one sock at a time.
And all of us are entertaining the thoughts of you naked in bed with your socks on. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, right.
That's what I took from this game. Thank you.
So now that
my
we're done,
work here is done. My work here is done.
Now that she's picked and now that the game is done, Z, who has the most winning record again?
Yes, please tell me.
Was it me?
Mark, you do have the win ratio at this point in time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that for this year? Is that just for this year, though? Is that just for this year?
No, that's just from that's overall. That's overall, yeah.
But like, is it a big head in front of me, or can I still catch up?
You can probably catch up. Catch up.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're never catching up, though.
It's like
I'll start taking this game seriously.
It's like a 60-40 split at the moment-ish. Yeah.
It's not far.
It's not far. Yeah. All right.
I just want you to feel like you're doing well. You know what I mean? I don't want to completely.
Oh my God!
You cannot see me cleaning under my nails right now, but I'm sharpening that for next week.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much for being here, Jae. You have been an utter delight to talk to. We would welcome you back anytime onto the podcast. So when you're serious,
you guys were amazing. I love it. You guys were amazing. I loved being here. Thank you for having me. I love listening to, actually, I've been listening to so many of you guys' podcasts. Like, I binged on them like last week. So, I've heard a lot of games. So I love it. And I had a feeling that Mark had the ratio.
Oh my God.
The higher ratio. I'm just saying, I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. But I still wanted to go with Kaya. But I said, wait a minute, lately the ones I've been hearing, so. But I love it. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God.
Jay, know what's up.
I hope I'm leaving you guys. I hope I'm leaving you guys with some fluffy socks, imagination.
Yeah, you sexy little morsel.
I think I need some hard liquor.
I love it.
This episode.
All right, bookers, for those playing at home, stalk Jae. Stalk her in the most gorgeous way, because otherwise she will block your, if you're creepy, she'll block your ass, so don't start that shit. But, be nice. Stalk her, read her book.
You've seen me.
I know, you're fierce. I love it. It's at Jae Margal. JaeMargal. I do believe on Insta it's jaemargal.19, which is her age. She's beautiful. She's a fountain of youth.
Thank you.
Yeah, so stalk her.
Thank you, lovely.
Get on her social platforms, interact, engage, support our authors. We love them all. Thank you, Jae, for being here. You have been an absolutely delicious delight today.
Thank you. I love you guys. Kaya, I have love for you. Please, let's watch our video together, our candy apples.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Mark, thank you so much. We won. We got this. And Z, I love you.
Love you too.
And keep stalking me, because I keep stalking you
guys. Love and leg humps for you
Thank
every
you for
time.
Having.
Kaya and Mark, of course, my triple threat that we are. Thank you guys for being here. This has been an awesome episode. It's been one for the keepers.
Fun.
Oh yeah.
We'll see you all again next Saturday, Sunday, weekend. Same podcast channel, different podcast guest. Same podcast host. Aren't you lucky? All right. Love you all. See you next week. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
Bye.